There we
I
There we
go.
hope you're
go.
having a lovely day. Last week, I asked everybody to change their profile picture to a Clippy if they were tired of the anti ownership path that the world was taking and wanted to push back against it. I've used my channel for the past 13 years on YouTube as a tool to mobilize my audience towards action that I believe would clean up our corner of the world. And I've enjoyed doing that, whether I was inviting people to come to legislative hearings with me, to call their senators and Congress people, to make different decisions in how they run their businesses, or to make different decisions in their personal lives when they actually have the power at the individual level to influence how things are done. And I have
Okay.
been very, very happy, humbled, and honored to see the change that's occurred over the past week. My new nonprofit has a website, consumerights.wiki. This website is a database of companies that take part in these anti-ownership, anti-consumer practices. It makes it much easier for me to speak to senators and congresspeople about these issues, as well as to members of the media, and be taken seriously when I have a properly well-cited, referenced, and sourced document that looks like an encyclopedia, and I can say, here are 100 articles going over this particular issue. And I wanted to just show you what's been happening over the past week. This is, we have something called Plausible. It's GDPR, privacy preserving analytics, and it just gives me an idea of how many people are visiting the site and when, and you can see this jump over here. Now, the jump that you see also coincides with many articles that were incomplete being edited to the point of being perfect, and many new articles being created that are very high quality. The wiki has had an absolute explosion in the past week since doing that Clippy video of people really taking part in all of this, doing the very, very difficult, annoying, pain in the ass work of logging everything that I've been asking you to do for several months. I created this website many months ago, and I've hired people to help manage it. I've hired people to help build it, and I've been contributing a lot to it myself. And what I've really enjoyed over the past week are watching all of you come in and make it infinitely better as a resource. And I plan to continue this work, and I'm very excited, not just by this, but by all of the emails that I've received from you, where you've told me in your own personal life where you made a different decision to try and make a difference. Whether it was asking about something at work that you thought, why are we doing things this way? Do we have to be doing things this way? Having uncomfortable conversations and just poking. And that's what this is all about. It's not about.
All right, so I'm gonna pause right there.
Yeah.
I've done that at my jobs. I have poked, and it has
Yeah.
never
Yeah.
gotten me
Yeah. I know.
anywhere.
I think you've mentioned
Not even just the last job I was at. At
just in general.
at most of my jobs that I've had, whenever I've poked or said like, "Hey, isn't this way of doing this thing kind of not very efficient?" Like it
Yeah.
always gets shut down. Um, and I know Lewis has like a very broad audience, so
Yeah.
part of me when he
Probably not just
said
America. You know.
yeah, so when he says people contacted him and they said they poked the bear at work and they, got some success, part of me wonders if that's just like maybe the liberal side of his audience, you know, doing more liberal
Yeah.
things at work and they're like, oh yeah, we poked and we got through. Like, yeah, like of course you would, because that's the group that's allowed to. Not that, not saying that anything I ever did at work was politically motivated, but because
Yeah.
most of the things I'm talking about are just like pure efficiency. Like, why don't we do this way and we get it done quicker and better and
Yeah. Stuff
safer?
that's purely about getting numbers up and everything. Um,
Yeah,
Luke Smith, he has this one video called "The Economy is Fake, the Money is Fake." Everything. It's basically about um, the book "Bullshit Jobs."
I've heard of it. Yeah,
Yeah, it's basically talking about that book and like the observations. And he also I think not long before that there was also that one very delicious and meme worthy Fox interview with the one anti-work host or
oh yeah,
moderator.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I
and
remember that.
yeah, he kind of opens up with that, and he says he ended up getting, he basically, he says he doesn't agree with anti-work, but he said that there was I think he used to work at like a I think it's like a copy thing or whatever, like a
Yeah,
copying machine. And
okay.
I think he said he asked oh, can I change the keyboard layout or put in a different keyboard? And I guess what you said is echoes where it's they're very skeptical, and a lot of them. He said that the thing is a lot of people in office work, they're just kind of play working. They're not actually
Yeah,
trying to
yeah,
get stuff done.
yeah,
And I
definitely.
actually and I have actually heard that someone in my life I've kind of mentioned one of my jobs I should say. Um, things can be kind of slow at times, or it's just slow in general. Like it's not a physical job. You're not getting up. You're not moving around. You're certainly not sweating.
Yeah.
And you know, I mean, it's important work. It was important work, but it's not like. And to be clear, what I do is, it's not like you can just like um pull up on a book or something. But like
Yeah.
this one person that was telling me about a similar situation where it's like, oh, I got all the work that I need done in like first 2 hours. What do I do for the next 6 hours? Do I get to go home or? And they're like, yeah, just look busy, basically. And like
Yeah.
you could literally, and this person was telling me like they pulled out like their book, and as long as like they weren't like drawing too much attention to themselves, they could just keep reading their book and all that. And it's like that's neat, but what if you're like wanting to play like a video game or something? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's not like you can bring your Steam Deck or or like you pull out your phone and watch all your anime or whatever, or
Yeah.
Netflix. Um, you have to like you know you're kind of like in a weird awkward position with that. Um, so yeah, that probably tracks. Although, and one more thing, and this is the total aside. Uh, that's a pretty impressive collection in the back there of like parts and
Yeah.
laptops. I'm assuming this is
Yeah.
like a pretty normal thing for him though, because I know he does like he. I don't know if
Yeah.
he does all of it, but like
Yeah, I
probably like
know. I know he left his shop in New York. I don't know if he like reopened one in Texas where he is now, but yeah,
oh
I mean, it looks like he
okay.
still does repairs on MacBooks and stuff.
I see. So
Um,
just like it's kind of like with California, everyone's fleeing California for Texas, and you have people fleeing to
yeah,
Texas from
and then they vote the
New
same
York.
way that ruined California or New York, and then they're like, "Oh my God, why is it bad?"
Yeah, I see.
Yeah, but yeah. So the reason we're watching this now is on our stream last week we talked about this Clippy thing, and
Yeah, this
I was
basically Slacktivist movement.
yeah, and I was considering clipping that portion out and uploading it to our Tread Dangerously
Yeah,
channel. But before I did that, I wanted to see what Lewis's update is, just in case we might be eating our words or anything like that. But
Nothing else. Changing your profile picture is simply a symbol that you are one of the many people that are going to push back rather than deal with things as they are. So that when somebody says, I'm
oh yeah, and that's the other thing I wanted to mention just now. Like when you talked about like how Luke Smith said like everything is fake, and there's people
yeah,
that I feel like that's a growing sentiment among more people these days is that they're realizing that the system really like Lewis is a champion of going out and arguing against the lobbyists and trying to call your politicians and change the laws and get all that stuff in our favor, and
yeah,
even he will admit that a lot of his lobbying efforts have failed, but he still feels that he's over made an overall positive impact. And in terms of spreading awareness, I would agree that yeah, that is a positive effect. But
yeah. It's
at the
better
same
than
time, when
nothing. But
yeah, but it's voting. It comes back to like more people are realizing that the system we're in, we can't vote our way really to a better to a better outcome, to a better system. Like when like I still like Trump. I still think in my lifetime, he's the least shit president we've had. But when you have a
yeah,
guy who seems all gung ho and ready to release the Epstein list, and then he's like, "Oh no, it's not a big deal. Don't worry about it. We're not doing that.
yeah.
Let's
He's
not
like,
talk about it."
yeah, he's like, are you really talking about him? I thought
Yeah,
you, I thought we were done. It's like he thought like I thought we were done with this. Like shouldn't we have
yeah, and
moved on
then
from
then he
this?
calls people who are still talking about it his past supporters. It's like when we vote for like the best thing we can vote for, and it's still not really pushing the needle all that much.
Yeah,
It just kind of reinforces in people like our minds that you're not going to win by doing things the right way. And what this Clippy thing is doing, this isn't even at the level where it's like we're voting on something. This is just like you said, slacktivism. Like yeah, it's spreading awareness, I guess, but how many minds is it really changing? Because not only that, but like if you're like a normie and you see the Clippy thing and you're like, oh, what does this mean? You have to. you're not going to intuitively look at Clippy and be like, oh, this is a pro consumer rights, pro repair thing. You have to look up and go and find Lewis's original video and have him walk you through his mental process of how
and like
Clippy
his
became to
reasons and
be.
everything,
Yeah, because this is, Clippy is just like a helper thing from old Microsoft Office before AI was a thing, and it's like
yeah.
no one is going to make that connection, the connection that Lewis makes in his mind without watching Lewis's video. And
Yeah, I mean,
if they,
he could have made it like change your profile picture to the gold to the to freaking Bonzi Buddy or the Golden Retriever, or
yeah, it would have been, the same.
any of
Like,
the
oh,
other
why does
helpers,
everybody have these golden retrievers as their profile pictures? And it's like,
these
well, you
old
still have to,
gold, yeah,
yeah, you still have to go and look at his original video, and that
as
might
like the
maybe
primary
that'll
source.
get, yeah, and that might get you to watch more of his videos and learn more about, right to repair stuff and consumer rights and stuff.
Yeah,
But like, because I remember back when I used to watch Lewis like more regularly, I remember he would talk about like when he called all these politicians in New York. He even went out and had dinner with one of them, and then the guy still ended up voting against right to repair because the lobbyists paid more. So it's like,
well, yeah, and
you're not going to win by doing things the right way,
yeah, the right way. And to be
quote unquote.
clear,
Yeah,
I mean, I know there's a lot one could read into that, but we're not
yeah.
saying
I'm not
anything.
asking people to go and be extreme out, but I'm just saying that
Just
like,
trying to make that clarify that
yeah, no, no,
before some
yeah, for
some
sure.
glow friend, which
Yeah, no, I'm
with,
not asking anybody to to go punch Mark Zuckerberg in the face. No,
yeah,
that's not what I'm
I mean,
saying. Yeah. So let's see
To
what
edit
else he
this
has to
article.
say.
Should I really bother editing this article? Is this really going to do anything? Is anybody else even with me? Does this matter? When they see that there are hundreds of thousands of other people that are doing the same thing, growing by the day, that influences them, that encourages them to actually take part in that actionable change that I've been trying to get people to take part in on this channel for the past 13 years.
Well, that's the other thing too. Is like, I mean, look at the stop killing games thing. They ended up with like 1.4 million signatures. They needed a million
but
just to get like recognized by the parliament. But meanwhile, you have like 5 Karens in Australia, calling up PayPal and Visa and MasterCard,
yeah,
and they
yeah, and
immediately get. So, that just goes back to our point of, the system is fake. The winners have already been decided.
yeah, because I
The
mean,
the
the thing is,
activists that
yeah.
get to make change, it's because they're allowed to make change. It's not because they push too hard, but they poke the bear.
And the thing is, like, we decide arbitrarily. It's not even that. It's more just we mentioned like the lobbyists, like when Louis Rossman went talk to the one politician.
Yeah, you can make all the great points in the world. You could go out, have dinner with a politician, get on their friendly side, make all the great points in the world. But if you're not lining their pockets, if you're
Yeah,
not greasing the wheel and you're not part of the system that greases the wheel, then you're not going to make
that's
any
kind of, yeah,
change.
that's pretty much what I was going to say. I'm trying to do like two things at once.
Yeah,
Uh, while we're doing this, but um, yeah, that's pretty much what I was saying. Like, what is it, like Citizens United? That's like the big, like,
yeah,
like because that's the thing where like corporations are people now, so now they can like legally donate to stuff as people, which I mean,
yeah,
I have to question that that wasn't happening before that, you know
yeah,
because people, I mean, if they have money, they know how to get work the system to their advantage. You know, they know all the laws and loopholes, and they have lawyers consulting on this and that, and or they might have connections where they're like, well, if we do this, and if you have someone in their way, I can go and whack them. You know,
yeah,
like so. Yeah, it's the problem is that I mean, it's not that he's not doing anything. It's just
yeah. And
changing
I'm
things
not,
to just Clippy is not going to do picture
yeah,
to pick Clippy is not going to solve the issue
yeah. And I'm not
in and of
saying
itself.
Rossman should just give up and do nothing, but
Yeah,
you know,
same here.
yeah, this, the Clippy thing, it's a nice sentiment, I guess, but it's sometimes like some of these movements, once they get to a certain point, a lot of the people that get on the bandwagon are just bandwagoners. They don't actually know what it is they're representing, you know?
Yeah, it's kind of like well, it's kind of like what is it, the Che Guevara shirts,
Yeah.
where it's
Like
like
they don't understand Shay's like actual philosophies about things.
yeah, it's just and that's kind of like that's the thing about like people people you see online all the time who claim they're like supporting like socialism because like oh man it's like so much like more virtuous it's much more feel
Yeah.
good and it's like that's not how that's not necessarily how it is just
Yeah.
because things are equal doesn't necessarily mean that it's instantly better you know
Yeah. And like a lot of these, especially with the younger people, a lot of them think, if we have socialism, everyone gets to just like stay at home and become an artist or whatever. But it's like, no, someone still has to
yeah
go
or
pick up
like
the
smoke
garbage.
weed or
Yeah, someone still has to be the garbage man. The government's going to tell somebody to pick up the garbage, and it might be you, and you're not going to like that.
yeah and it's like also like you won't be able to ever like work hard enough to like be able to sit back and relax
Yeah,
and it's not and some people are like boy are you like some capitalist you want to be some boss who lives off other people's work and it's like well no there's ways the thing is okay here's the thing this is the big reason why I mean people will go and be like oh that's not real socialism that's not real communism look you can be the only reason people say that is because they think they can solve they think if they let me put it like this: if the presidency was like a big giant like computer, and you have all the levers, it's kind of like the Wizard of Oz, you know,
yeah,
um, they think that if they were the ones in control of the world, they could like tune things just right, and
yeah,
everything would just be hunky dory because they're in control and they understand what's going on. When the fact is, that's not how it is. It's the world is complicated. It's
yeah,
I mean, just like every and it's not and the thing is the world's not getting any less complicated in both good and I mean I wouldn't even say is complication ever a good thing? Like I don't think so. I mean, and
no, it just kind of it always just kind of muddies the waters, and then like
yeah, yeah. It's the long and short of it is if you're someone who's like most people who they go into work and let's be real, you're not exactly excited to go to work. You go to work because
yeah,
you want to eat, you want to have a roof over your head. You like that, you like the water going, you like electricity, you like modern conveniences. If you want to be able to keep that gravy train going, where you can keep that because you're paying a service, ComEd for electricity, and I don't know the city for water. I don't, you know, if you're paying all that off, that's somewhat you're paying that because someone else is volunteering their time to,
yeah,
solve issues that come up because, that and the thing is a lot of the stuff when you think about it is kind of invisible to most people. They just kind of
oh
send the
yeah,
money their way and they don't think about you don't really think
yeah.
about
Nobody thinks where like any of the stuff they use actually comes from. No one thinks about the people working at like garbage plants burning off stuff, or like or energy plants, or people cleaning the water to hopefully
yeah, and
cleaning
that's
the
the thing.
water to
And
go
then
into everyone's house.
people will be like, I'm just glad I don't have to work there. Man, I would need like a gas mask working in a sewer. And
Yeah,
it's like I've heard I've heard it's one of those things where yeah, that probably sucks like initially, but you get used to it.
yeah,
Um, but it's not like it's asking you to go up um in the cold as like a licensed electrician to go and fix some power lines um while it's windy and cold and you have to like do things like really quick do it fast
yeah,
because you don't want to get frostbite or
yeah,
slip and fall and hit your head. I mean why do
yeah,
you think those guys like contractors are getting paid more and but you
yeah.
see a
And then
lot
that's
you know
the one of the motivating factors of capitalism is there. There's a lot of these jobs that nobody would, be born into this world and be like, I want to do that. But, under socialism, somebody would have to do that and no one would be motivated to do that. But under
Yeah,
capitalism, you have motivating factors to do all these jobs that like people wouldn't normally ever think about taking up.
yeah, and it's not like people. I remember James Rolfe in his autobiography.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was listening to. I was playing Lost Odyssey on the 360 at some, like a few years ago. He said he always hated the word job, and he's associated with. And to be fair, I mean, some of his sentiments about like some of the jobs he worked, dead end jobs, are kind of
Yeah.
relatable. I would
I
not
mean, I
want to
prefer the
be.
word job to career because I feel like when you see career, it implies that, oh, you're going to stay with us for like 20 years,
Yeah,
right?
it's a little. I mean, yeah, I mean, I will say, yeah, it is kind of pretentious the way that's used nowadays.
Yeah.
I think you can you say you have a career if you have like a set of skills that you can
Yeah.
transfer from one company or business or guild or opportunity.
Yeah. See, like
It's
I
kind of
just you'll see it in a second, but I just searched up Walmart jobs and the site that comes up is Walmart careers. Like nobody applies to
yeah.
Walmart thinking, I'm going to spend the rest of my life here.
Yeah, unless
Like,
you're like an ASM, dreaming, hoping to become a store manager, which,
yeah, not many
you
people
know,
want to make a actual career out of Walmart. It's, it's just money on the table.
yeah, I mean, if you're on the lowest, let me put it like this: if you, I never said this, but people, from what I understand, like managers, like it gets like if you go for like the not like ASM, but like lead of like a department,
Yeah.
um, they expect a lot out of you, like a pretty
Yeah, I
like
bet.
it's like unreasonable amount. Like a
Oh,
lot of things that could like be affected by like other like luck.
oh, wow. Okay.
Like as far as like what you need to get done. But I mean, I know. Well, we're alive. There's some stuff I don't know if I want to say, but
Yeah.
I will say that if you stick with it, well, I understand you can make a lot of money even just as like a manager, like the just like the team lead.
Yeah.
Not like the
And
ASM team lead, but like the guy who's like barking out orders. Not like barking
yeah.
out per se, but um,
And that goes back to what I said. Is like nobody dreams of, being like working the way of Walmart, but it is an option. And the fact that
yeah,
you can climb it is a motivating factor in our capitalist society. Again, no one dreams of making a career out of Walmart, but the option is there and the incentive and pay reward is there. Do
yeah.
you have that pay
That's
reward under socialism or communism? I highly doubt that.
um, yeah, yeah. Good luck. Good luck with that.
Yeah, that's the other thing is, you could write up, the perfect socialist plan on paper, but the fact that there still has to be people in power means that people can abuse that power. And under a system so authoritative as communism, yeah, people are going to be people and they're going to abuse that power and they're going to make other people suffer.
Yeah, and it's actually kind of interesting. There's a not related thing that Luke Smith did. You know, I would say like just in general, like if you want like a good like intelligent like thing to listen to, like his not related videos are like a good source. Because he talks about like some like people you probably have never heard of, and
Mm,
as well as books. Not saying that just immortality, but like the audience, whoever's watching or listening to us, we thank you
mm,
for your time.
yeah,
And but there's one he did. A video is called "Capitalism, Socialism, and Democracy," and he talks about this one guy. I'm just gonna throw his name out. Maybe comment if you've heard of it. The name Joseph Schumpeter.
I do not believe I've heard
That's what
that.
I thought. But basically, what he said is that like what like Marx was saying is like the proletariat's going to overthrow the bourgeois or bourgeoisie, however you say it.
Yeah,
Um,
we'll find out next time on bourgeoisie.
but yeah, he said that it's not necessarily going to be that he thinks, and this is kind of almost prophetic. This is like a book he wrote like back in like like the 30s. And he said it's not going to necessarily be the underclass, but per se, like, a bunch of like the regular working class, the ones who accept the cards are handed and they do the best they can to make they do the best they can with what they're dealt,
Yeah.
which, some of that can include what Lewis is doing, and it's not necessarily a bad thing. But like what we're talking about is like people who think they can change the world. They're still young, they're still innocent. Not
Yeah.
they've not even earned a paycheck yet to see how much is taken out of that paycheck, like directly. They
Yeah.
might have like parents who might say something about that while they're listening to something on the radio. They don't. Yeah, they have this innocency to them. What ends up happening is with the current way things are, where college was for schools. There, this is the thing about incentives. Incentives are not necessarily good in and of themselves.
Yeah.
Incentives, because like schools, what
Yeah.
they can do,
There could be bad incentives as well.
yeah, like schools, what they have, and this is kind of what I think Lewis is kind of going. I think this is kind of what Lewis is protesting is like the bad incentives, and not necessarily what the example I'm referring to per se, but like schools, they're incentivized to push college like really, 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 really hard
Oh yeah.
because it's like, oh, they get kickbacks from it, and like, oh, this is like you'll just earn so much more money and everything, and that might, and the thing is maybe that was true like decades past, and it's probably still true to a certain extent now. um but it really depends on what you're going into and whether the CEOs think you're replaceable. um
Yeah.
and because what to bring this all back to like what Schumpeter is saying about like you know what he says is that it's not necessarily going to be the underclass per se. It's going to be an overeducated underclass
Yeah.
that tries to overthrow the bourgeois. Is
Yeah.
because let's say you're an English major, which if you're raised in the United States and you're not like a, a legal, as in legal, make sure I'm
Yeah.
not being misheard, immigrant, and you've never spoke English before. um in English, if you've been speaking English your whole life, the only reason you're doing that is you're hoping that the the degree is just there for like the sheepskin effect, as it's called, where
Yeah.
they just say like, oh yeah, this just proves that you can work like you're willing to put in the work and see the end of a project or whatever.
Yeah. It's like you prove to the world that you can do something. You know.
Yeah, and that's really kind of stupid, but that's we're not the ones who make this. Those who want to be a manager or something and think they can do it, they're not necessarily the ones who determine what HR thinks. But yeah, it's going
Yeah.
to be like if you're going into for like a studies degree, like most studies degrees, it's like those are the kinds of people. You see these people all the time. Like, oh, it kind of goes with the whole like socialism thing. Like, if we're socialists, we would be artists, we would be
Yeah.
musicians, we'd all be you know, we'd all be like Mozart and Bach. It's
Yeah. And
like,
it's like, hey, like I need a brain surgery. Like, are any of you like passionate about doing brain surgeries?
yeah, the neurosurgeon, or
Yeah.
like cardio surgery. I mean, that's another sensitive body part. You don't want someone,
Yeah.
Not a weak thing I've seen happen on this channel in years. The emails I've received from people from all walks of life, the content simply on this website. This is the first thing that I even asked people to help me with. And the edits genuinely show how much has changed. Thank you. Thank you so much. You didn't just change your profile picture. You changed your profile picture and you immediately got to work, taking the steps that you can in your personal life, doing what you can do to try and move towards a world where ownership matters. And it shows. This website is operated by our nonprofit. It has no ads, no membership, no nonsense, no shitcoins, no bullshit. It's just pure open source information designed to help everybody push back against the anti-ownership practices by being informed about which companies they should avoid.
is he referring to a
also
site
be
in
able to
like
tell
the
their
description of
senators
the
and
video or something?
Hey. Yeah. I know it's I did see it in the description before. I think he did it. a single video on this website because
Oh, okay. That's
it's part
consumer
of
rights
it's hit.
wiki and
Yeah,
okay.
it's from his nonprofit that he works for. And
Oh,
from what I
okay.
heard, they do have like a decently rich guy kind of like funding them. Um,
Oh, nonprofit and rich guy. I wonder why he would be involved with that.
I mean,
Could
yeah,
be a good tax
that's
write-off.
really the only way that nonprofits get off the ground to begin with is like some random rich benefactors like, hey, wanna do some work for me?
Yeah, it's kind of like was it like the Bill Gates fund? What I forget what it is, but like the Gates Foundation. I'm like, dude, that's just his like he just like that's how he keeps his trillions.
So I'm checking out the site right now. So I
Yeah,
just
I
went
just
under
kind of
cameras, then GoPro, and then GoPro falsely advertising camera is waterproof. I mean, this is good,
yeah,
but
it
like
is.
I would also see this in the review, wouldn't I? Like if I go on Amazon, like at least a couple guys would mention this. Like it, this would be like my last resort. Like if I if I went on Amazon and then the product had like no reviews,
Yeah,
and then I was like, oh, this thing it does look good though, but like I can't find any info about it. Then I would come here. But
yeah.
then if Amazon had no info on it, then like would this website have info on
I mean, the thing is too is I'd also have to be using a Go. Think I'd have to use the GoPro underwater to begin with, and
it? Yeah.
I
And
don't.
you'd have to do it more
I'm
than
not how.
once to like accurately be like, okay, this shit doesn't work,
Yeah, I know. I don't.
rather than
I
just like, oh, maybe you got a bad one. But
yeah. I mean, the thing is, I don't even. I know there's like the whole standard, like how waterproof is it? But I would
yeah,
not trust things
and
just in general.
yeah,
Being
and then
underwater.
the other thing is like any decently knowledgeable tech guy will tell you nothing is actually waterproof. The more accurate term is water resistant.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and that always, of course, has its limits. And okay, so product page of GoPro asserts that camera's waterproof to 10 meters without a housing. Implanted device is exceptionally durable and safe for use underwater. The warranty refutes. Okay, so that's actually this is actually good information. So if the warranty refutes it, then yeah, that's something
well, yeah, because
people
most people are
need
not
to know
going to
about.
read all the
Yeah,
warranty stuff because I mean a lot of it's like legal speak. I remember
yeah,
there was like a Reddit post about like where someone's like giving like a birthday like a sent like a birthday card or something or like a
yeah,
happy whatever, and you did it like the lawyer speak where they have like the lawyer speak, but then like they I think what it was is like the lawyer speak and then like in parentheses like the more normal person speak. You
yeah.
know,
I want to see. Let me see. I'm going to see what they have on routers. Do they have
Osmo
anything on
Action 5.
routers?
That sounds like a cheat device. Probably not because and that's not because I don't
Let's
have a
see.
Pro Action Replay. They got
DJI. Oh, DJI is a they're one of the more expensive brands.
oh
They're like a well-known action camera brand.
well when you say expensive, what are we talking about here?
Oh, let's find out. Buy now,
It's
$350. Good lord.
I was expecting like $5,000 or something.
I mean,
Like
for a base action camera with nothing, like no attachments or anything, yeah, that's because like you can get an action camera with a waterproof housing that's like I would say 80% as good as this from AliExpress for like 30 to $50.
shit. Well, I mean that's where everything's made in China. So yeah,
Yeah, this thing says 4 hours extended battery life, so I mean, yeah, I guess that's extended for an action camera. I mean, the one time I bought one from AliExpress, when I now got it, it lasted for like 2 hours. So yeah, I guess that is extended.
yeah. Yeah, it's even extended even more if you use a portable battery that hopefully is not going to be an anchor for an explosion or something. But that would be
Yeah,
crazy. That would
but
never that would
yeah,
never happen.
aside from GoPro, DJI is like the other normie brand that stores will usually have.
Yeah,
All right, so I will give it to Rossman there. This wiki is a good idea. I'm not
yeah.
seeing
It's
any
not exactly
routers
like
though.
I mean, it's probably just getting started. I mean,
Yeah.
this movement is what like 2 weeks young.
Well, he
I
said
think.
he's had the wiki up for a couple months now.
Oh yeah, but I meant like as far as like this Clippy movement,
Yeah.
like
Oh wow.
bringing more
Switch
eyes
game
on it.
key card has its own entry.
Well, I mean
I mean, this
that's
one's pretty
yeah.
self-explanatory. The game isn't on the cartridge.
Well,
Yeah.
self-explanatory for us. Trying to explain that. I mean, my
I
brother's
mean, if
probably
you're a
looking
normie,
at me
you're
about it.
not going to come to this website to find out about Switch game key cards.
Yeah, that's the thing.
If you're going this deep, then you already know what a Switch game
Yeah,
key card
you're
is.
probably already in the iceberg, and to some extent.
There's only one entry under printers. I expected printers to probably be like the biggest one because like every printer sucks ass now.
I don't have to. I barely ever have to use printers anymore. I'm just glad. Anytime I have to use a printer, it's like, ugh,
The
I want to
3DS.
die inside.
3DS. As of 2020, it's been discontinued. No shit.
No, really.
This is one of those things where it's like, yeah, Nintendo's not gonna honor your warranty because there are none for 3DS in 2025.
Yeah, because I mean, it's the previous. It's the last
Yeah.
handheld, like true full
Like
actual
whoever made
handheld.
this, whoever decided to make an entry for the 3DS, they just wanted to feel like they were doing something.
Yeah, a bullshit job, if you will. Bring it
Yeah,
back to what stuff we brought up
yeah,
earlier.
it was a bull. Yeah, so yeah, there's one issue with this thing is like the more a lot of people are going to be like, oh, I want to do something and feel good about myself, and they're going to put an entry on the Game Boy Light and be like, oh,
Man,
Nintendo won't repair it anymore.
yeah, it's like
You don't
Microsoft
say.
Office. It's like, dude, just get like LibreOffice or OpenOffice or
Office
whatever other.
2019. Like I'm pretty sure Microsoft themselves said they're not going to keep updating 2019, which
Yeah,
oh wait, what is this? Application will be
I mean, I'm
unable to
surprised he doesn't
speak.
have something for Mac in general, like anything Apple.
Yeah, his whole business is repairing specifically MacBooks. Like you would think that would have its own fucking section. He said
Wait, so
he's also been contributing to this as well, but I don't.
I'm actually curious about the ThinkPad one.
Uh,
If only just for our G bros, whoever's, you know,
wait, there's a. Oh, it's under Lenovo. Okay.
yeah. Oh no, it's like
Oh,
ThinkPad
X1,
X1.
X1 Carbon. Article status note. This article has been marked as incomplete. Okay, so it's
Oh,
not even. So it's not even a proper write-up yet.
hardware vendor lockout.
Heat. Laptop fails to cool itself properly. In basic games, the laptop can get pretty hot. I mean, isn't
Man,
that
if you're
for both
playing games
laptops?
on,
Because like my Lenovo laptop hits 90 when I'm playing games, and I've had it for 5 years. It still works.
yeah, it's like, dude, and it's like, when am I going to play a game on a laptop anyway? At least, especially nowadays. If I'm
Yeah,
pulling out my laptop,
I do more often than probably a lot of people who
yeah,
game on their PC, but at the same time, it's like I know what I'm getting myself into with that.
if I wanted to play something, I have the Steam Deck.
Also, if you want to game, you're not gaming on a ThinkPad. You're buying a Lenovo gaming laptop. You're not buying a Think like.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, if I guess you're like, if you're playing like Shovel Knight, something low spec, you know,
Yeah,
I
in which
mean,
case I
that's
don't
probably
think
not a
it's gonna
problem.
get too hot.
Yeah, or
Performance
maybe
of
Metal
this
Gear
laptop.
Rising,
Yeah, being a thin and light laptop, it suffers from fan noise. Once again, isn't that like every laptop?
Yeah, that's my PS3. Of course, the
Yeah,
difference is the PS3 is connected to a TV.
yeah. See, that's the problem because like there's gonna be so many like bullshit articles like this where it's like, did
and
you
eventually it's
know
like,
if you
okay,
unplug your
whatever.
computer, it's gonna turn off? Aha,
Yeah,
I'm helping.
yeah. It's like, how much of a help is it really?
Yeah. Like he said, like didn't Lewis say like there was like 150 new submissions or something? Like it doesn't look like that many. Like I click under each thing and there's just like one. Oh, someone has something to say about the Retroid Pocket. I'm assuming it's about the screen. Yep, defective screen. Which is like if you know enough about a Retroid Pocket, you're gonna be aware of this issue because like this isn't a normie thing to buy.
Yeah, man. I see them on like Facebook. I mean, I see that on Facebook as well as some people being a little bit shameless about certain other things about those devices and things related to those devices.
Yeah, I don't
Um,
care about the Nintendo Ninjas.
what he just said. Yeah, pretty much. Yeah,
Users have
it's
already reported. Okay, so this, I'm pretty sure this is out of date because everyone did make a big stink about the denied warranties, and I'm pretty sure
yeah.
Retroid, you know, went back on it and decided to honor their.
I mean, the thing is, where does this go? I mean, where does this end eventually? Like, I mean, he's
Yeah,
mostly
because
focusing on
if you're
like
not keeping these
modern.
things up to date, because this I could tell you this one's already out of date. Because like yeah, the defective screen is an issue, but they've already like it's mentioning the like if somebody made this within the past 2 weeks during the Clippy thing, like you're just posting you're doing a bullshit job.
Yeah, and what I'm thinking of, like they mentioned like game consoles and like the 3DS. I'm like thinking, well, what about the Wii U? I'm not thinking about that, just not just because they both kind of shut down kind of around the same time,
Yeah,
but also it's
at
like
least yeah, like the Wii U would make more sense because they have the whole NAND thing where they can just die, and obviously Nintendo isn't gonna fix any of those even if you pay them.
I just yeah, you just reminded me that that was a thing, and I'm like, holy crap, that was
Yeah, it's been on my mind ever since I got my Wii U up and running. I've been meaning to like check. I've been meaning because
it's
there's a homebrew you can download to check and find out which NAND you
you know
have.
what that makes that wow. Both the PS3 and the Wii U, arguably, like if you're talking, if you want to do like real hard, like ultimate real hardware, like has
Yeah,
perfect backwards compatibility, for
yeah.
the most.
Like the king of backwards compatibility for each of those companies,
It's like the PS3
and they
has
both have
like
time bombs.
the C bomb thing that I don't think ever
Yeah,
got patched. And the Wii U has a dying NAND. I mean, at least the
yeah,
PS3 that mostly affects like updates and stuff, and
yeah, and potentially someone could make a homebrew to fix that.
I mean,
Um,
I don't. I think I don't know. I tried looking for that, and I don't think I ever saw anything like specifically. But I'm not like
yeah, I would
neck
assume you
deep
would.
into that.
Yeah, I would assume it would have to. It would probably a homebrew fix like that would probably only work on a full CFW. Um, so that might
Well, I
take
mean,
some time to work out.
yeah, for the later systems, just because there's differences and stuff. Um,
Yeah, because there probably wouldn't be a one size fits all fix for that right now.
well, I mean, there's not. I mean, when you're talking about like, I mean, there's no, when you're talking about computers in general, it's not a one size fits all, anyways.
Yeah,
For the most
yeah.
part, it's just there's
Yeah, I
like
don't
one that
know.
came to my attention here. Not really. The 4K
Yeah.
video downloader. It's like, oh, it's like plus now.
Oh, well, all right. So, all right, software entry. This is like one of those things you would look up
I
something on Google and then this would come up even though it's not exactly what you were looking for, and it's like, all right, and you click on the website and you're like, all right, this is a virus.
Yeah,
Like
that's kind of what it's like.
like you don't need just get JDownloader. You don't need 4K video downloader. There's plenty of better
There's
alternatives.
a
The problem I'm gonna click on this. I'm betting it's gonna cost money. Oh, I didn't actually want to download it.
yeah, it's one of those ones where it's like it just downloads the when you go into the. But yeah,
Um,
I don't. I mean,
it
just in
says
general,
try our free application. So whenever something says like try, oh,
it's
your
it's it's
store.
probably one of those. Yeah, it's
Yep,
probably
you do
one of
have
those
to
things.
buy it. Yep.
Yeah, you have to buy it to get like the full features, or
Yeah, so you're
use
just
it
getting like a
past
little
like
demo version for like 30
30
days or
days or
whatever.
15 days or
But yeah,
whatever.
like yeah, if you're paying for something called the 4K video downloader, I expect to be screwed over. Like I don't need an entry on that. Just expect to be screwed over. If they don't hit you in the wallet, they're gonna hit you with like a fucking spyware or some shit. I gotta I gotta delete that shit.
Yeah, I
Damn,
mean, I don't
awesome.
know
See
how
what your
much.
wiki made me do.
Yeah, yeah. Lewis. You and your like your earbuds hanging out. Like, um,
I was about to say people that work at consumer protection agencies, but I don't know if there's any of them left, that these are real issues. As I've said, there's absolutely jack shit that I can do by myself talking into a camera to try and change the world for the better. That has to come from all of you.
I mean, isn't that
Clearly,
what you're trying to do
enough
right
of you are
now?
on board
Kind
to
of.
help me turn the tide in many of these things. I look forward to announcing the bounty system that we're going to be coming out with, so that when a company tries to lock customers
Okay, so
out
he's
with
going
the
to try
bought and
to
paid
put
for,
in incentives.
Okay, so
and,
that, yeah, that's
hopefully
good.
come up with a solution. And if they feel up
So
to
yeah,
it, and up to
that's a
the
good idea.
legal
Having
backing for it
bounties
as a
is a
result
good
of them releasing
incentive,
the
and
solution.
yeah,
might
maybe
actually
it'll
get
give
some traction.
some better
If we're not able
articles
to
and
release
stuff.
the solution, well,
Yeah,
it'd be really nice to speak to those senators and congresspeople when they say that this lobbyist told me that's a solution in search of a problem, and be able to say, here's a list of 130 devices that are installed in over 400 million homes
okay, so
around the world,
he's
80
still
million
thinking
Americans.
inside the box there.
That could be
You
solved
could
right
you can
now
show that to any
if this was
politician.
changed.
You could print out 100 pages and be like, here's
You're helping me do
where
that. Thank you.
here's where fucking Apple screwed
That's it
over
for today.
everybody. They're not
As
gonna give a
always,
shit.
I hope you learned something. Enjoy your weekend.
Yeah.
See you in the next one.
I mean, a
Bye
lot
now.
of these, like, a lot of these, like, things are like mostly in like Europe. Like this whole stop killing games thing, and like
Yeah, any
Apple like switching to
political movement
USB-C.
that gets traction, it's gonna be in Europe, and even then, it's like the stop killing games thing. I am fairly, if it does pass, I am fairly optimistic. It could change things for the better. At the very worst
Even if
case
I do have some
scenario,
questions about implementation, and
yeah,
how
well,
sustainable it's going to be, practical. But yeah,
yeah. Well, I mean that worst case scenario is it kills live service games as a whole, and let me play my tiny violin for you. I like the idea of this wiki, but I feel like the whole Clippy thing is slacktivism. Like if it hasn't peaked already, it'll peak, and then people are just gonna forget about it and move on or whatever.
Yeah, because I mean, what are they gonna do? Keep their profile picture as Clippy the whole time?
Yeah, for the rest of your life, like
you
it's
really
not
are
gonna
gonna.
make Mark Zuckerberg be like, oh, we should respect people.
Yeah,